Welcome to Layer 2 Star Topology with hubs using Cisco Packet Tracer. I'm Professor Ken Top at the University of Virgin Islands, and we're doing this for CSC 243 networking, but we could do it for other courses or other certificates that are interested in learning about networking. Today we're going to construct a star topology using basic network equipment, a few user devices, a server, and we're going to lay it out here in our Cisco Packet Tracer. We've already determined that we want to use a private internal non-routable Class C address range for addresses to configure on the devices. We're going to use the net ID of 192.168.1.0 with /24 subnet mask, 24 ones, meaning 255.255.255.0. That's in decimal, dot decimal notation. And then the gateway will be one higher than that. So we'll use 192.168.1.1. For our gateway, we can add DNS of 1.1.1.1. And for broadcast, if it asks for that, we're going to use 192.168.1.255. This means the usable address range that we have remaining are IP addresses from 2 to 254. And so we're going to go ahead and get started here. Basically, I've got Cisco Packet Tracer open. And one thing that I've done is on this opening screen, I want to put the type of, I want to use hubs basically. So the opening screen shows routers, shows network devices. If I select end devices, I can pick the end devices that I want to use, but I'm going to start with the network equipment. And I'm going to select hubs down here. And as I click, I'm just going to put two hubs. I'll drag one from lower into the screen. This is going to be hub packet tracer, and the label it automatically gives it for the first device on the network is hub 0, since everything in networking. If I hold my pointer over there, you can see some of the details there. We haven't got anything configured yet. We're going to drag a second one out here, and we want to connect the two. So we're going to click on the connections, and we'll select the auto connector. So I select auto connection. I'm going to click on the first hub and then drag over to the second hub and release after I click again. You'll notice the dashed line. It's whole, and I held my mouse pointer over it so that the port interface and its number will show. So FA stands for fast access or fast Ethernet, 100 megabit Ethernet. Port 0, the first port on this hub. And the same thing is true on the other side. The reason we have the same port number is because fast access 0 port on hub 1, which is actually the second hub, is in place. So now we have these two. If you're fulfilling the criteria for our solution, you'll probably want to take a screenshot at this point. So you could just press the print screen and then open up Paint and paste it in there. This is the first screen you want to show. Let's go ahead and add some user end devices. We'll start with a server. So we're going to put a server up here in the upper right corner, and then we'll put a PC on this side, and then over on the other side I'm going to fill out 3 other end devices. I'll put two PCs and a laptop to the side. So we're going to put a laptop over here to the side. going to go back to my connector and use the auto connection again. This time I'm going to drag from the server, click on the server, and then drag down to the first hub, hub 0. Click again. I'm going to hold my mouse pointer over this so that the port interface identities or IDs show. Now you see the fast access port 1, the second physical port on the hub, is connected to the first Ethernet port over on fast Ethernet port over on the server. I'm going to finish making the rest of the connections. So I'll click on PC, drag here, the same again, drag there, same again, drag there, and same here. Now once again, I'm going to hold my pointer over these so that all of these will show. I want all of these to show. So you can see I connected this PC, the second PC, to the second hub, and on the second hub it's using fast access 1, fast access 2, the third port to connect to the laptop, and the last port, fast access 3, to the PC. Now, one of the things we want to accomplish here is to, sometimes you have to move things around a little bit so that you can see them a little more nicely. So now we have 2 star topologies. Whoops, I'm going to close that. Double click too quick. So we have 2 star topologies. We have a star topology here on the first hub, and we have a star topology there on a second hub. 3 connections for the first star topology, the first one to a second hub, the next one to a server, and the third one to a client machine, a PC. And then over here. So basically what we want to do is make sure that these details show. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get them all to populate in a halfway decent fashion. And they kind of step on each other a little bit. So in any case, I want you to be aware of the ports. All right, so yeah. So at this point, what we're going to do is configure the IP addresses on each of the machines, and what we want to do after we're finished, if we're successful with layer 2 star topology setup, so we should be able to ping from the laptop to the server. The server doesn't have a gateway or an IP address set up yet. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to go to the config tab in the server console. And right here, I'm going to enter the gateway, which we said already was 1.1. And we're going to use the DNS of 1.1.1.1. So in here, I'm going to put 192.168.1.1, and then 1.1.1.1. And as I click on the fast Ethernet option, now I have a place to put my IP address and subnet mask. You'll also notice this simulation environment, Cisco Packet Tracer, creates a MAC address to match the data link for the IP address that we set up. So 192.168.1. I'm going to use .11. I'll use the subnet mask. As soon as I click into that field, it goes ahead and populates. It already knows that 192.168.1 is a /24 private internal address. I am not going to use IPv6, so I'm not going to configure it. All right, so that basically configures our server. If you're interested in seeing whether or not it works, what I'd do is open up your desktop now, open up command prompt, and then from here you should be able to ping localhost, and if the IP protocol stack is working properly, then we should get a result. Or using the term localhost may not be recognized on this server. I'm going to hold the control key down and tap the C key to get my prompt back. I'm going to ping loopback address or home address. I'll ping 127.0.0.1. And if that works, it'll tell me the IP protocol is working on the local host. That's loopback address. And you see I get a good result. And now just to make sure the server address itself is functional, I'm going to go ahead and hit the up arrow key. And I'm going to backspace over this and type in 192.168.1.1. I'm sorry, .11. So I'm going to go ahead and see whether or not the IP protocol stack can actually talk to the local IP address of the server itself. And it does. So both the loopback on the data link layer and the specific IP, the static IP address work. I'm going to close this now, and we'll go ahead and then pick IP addresses for the others. I'll use 21, so I'm going to reserve some spaces for other servers and other addresses. I chose 11 here, but I'm going to go ahead and use 21, and then 22, 23, and 24 for each of the clients. So I'm going to click on the config tab again, do the same thing. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and copy this value so I don't have to keep entering it over and over again. I'm going to go ahead and use Control-C to copy that. Then every time I click into this gateway for all the others, I can just Control-V and paste it. Now, DNS server is easy enough to do. For the fast Ethernet interface, I'm going to fast Ethernet 0 interface. That's the first Ethernet jack on this PC. I'm going to paste this in, but I'll just put in 21 here instead. And I'll click down in here into subnet mask. Now I have this good. I could go back to desktop. I could go back to desktop. And I don't want this. Yeah, I don't want the terminal. I want to go to command prompt. I can ping again, 127.0.0.1 for the data link loopback. That's working. On the IP stack, I can try the local one, 192.168.1.21, and that's working. So I'll go ahead and fix the rest of these. Go to the config, global settings. Here's my gateway. Control-V to copy and paste. 1.1.1.1. On this fast Ethernet port, I'm going to put 22. And close this one. See, this can go much faster here. And for fast Ethernet here, this is going to be 23. So 21, 22, 23. For the last one, same gateway, same DNS server. For this fast Ethernet, let's see, 21, 22, 23, 24. So now I'm going to bring up the laptop desktop command prompt. And I should be able to ping my own IP address, but then I should be able to ping the server address over here. So I'm going to ping 192.168.1. Let's see, 21, 22, 23. Well, I want to find out what IP address I put on there. All I have to do is type in ipconfig, and it'll tell me. I put 23 on this. You see right there, I put 23. So I'm going to go ahead and ping 192.168.1.23. My own IP address is working on the IP protocol stack. I'm going to try to ping the server now, which is sitting over here on 11. And so this is the information I need. And at this point, I can, if I want to, I can bring up another interface. I can bring up more of these, and then I can see each one. It's quite an environment to work with to learn networking. All right, so what I've done is created 2 star topologies using hubs, connected user devices and a server, configured the server and the user devices with a class C private IP address range. And once everything was configured, you see now these addresses, the information is populated in there. I can connect and network with the other devices or with the server. This concludes our session on Layer 2 star topology with hubs using Cisco Packet Tracer. Take care for now.